Amu and Kumar, they were traveling through Chennai in a bus. And as they go around the city, they are observing the water facilities available in different parts of the city, that is Chennai. So this is Anna Nagar, Ram Gopal lives here. Saidapet, Padma lives here. Madipakkam, Shiva, and Mylapore, Subramaniam. So what they observed, we'll talk about the places they saw. Senior government official, we are talking about water and the people of Chennai. So senior government official, Mr. Ram Gopal, he lives in Anna Nagar, Chennai. And the area is lush and green with lawns, and the water is generously sprayed. Bungalows have tap water for major part of the day. If the water supply is inadequate, Ram Gopal will speak to his friend or senior official in the municipal board, and water tanker will easily come. Other areas of the city, Subramaniam's, his apartment in Mylapore suffers water shortage. The area gets municipal water once in 2 days. So they have a private borewell and it meets some of the resident water need. Borewell water is, however, the brackish, that is sour. So the resident only use it for toilets or for washing. Otherwise, they purchase from tankers. Subramaniam spends 500 to 600 per month on this. For drinking water, water purification system is installed in their homes. Shiva lives on rent on the first floor in a house in Madipakkam. Here he gets water once in 4 days. Shortage of water is that reason why Shiva is not bringing family to Chennai. Shiva buys bottled water for drinking. Now let us come to one more place, Saidapet. Padma works as domestic help, lives in nearby slum. She pays 650 for the hutment, and neither she has bathroom nor tap connection. For 30 such hutments, they have one tap at corner, and the borewell gives water 20 minutes twice daily, only 20 minutes twice daily. So 3 buckets can be maximum filled. Same water is used for washing and drinking, but in the summer, the family gets water only at the cost of another. That is, people have to wait long hours for water tankers. So this is the scenario of Ram Gopal. He is having very good supply of water. Subramaniam, little less water. And then Shiva, he has little water. He is not able to bring his family because of the shortage of the water. And Padma's situation is really bad. So water, as part of the fundamental right of life, can you assume that you can live without water? You can live without food for 3-4 days or maybe more. Without air you cannot live, and without water also it will be very difficult for you to live. Water is essential for life. Also, safe drinking water is needed because most of the diseases are waterborne. India has largest number of cases of diarrhea, dysentery and cholera. Over 1600 Indians, most of them below 5, they die because of this water-borne or water-related diseases. If we have safe access of water, safe drinking water, these deaths can be prevented. The Constitution of India, it recognized the right to water as being a part of the right to life under Article 21. This is very important. Right of water is under right of life. That means every person, rich, poor, should get sufficient amount of water to fulfill his or her daily needs and at a price which is affordable. That is, there should be universal access to water. This our Constitution also says. So there have been several court cases where it has been said that safe drinking water is fundamental right. In 2007, recently, it is the case of Andhra Pradesh High Court. There was a letter being sent by a villager of Mehboob Nagar district about the contamination of water. The villager complained that the textile company is discharging poisonous chemical, the waste, into the stream near his village, contaminating the groundwater, and which is the main source of irrigation and drinking. The judge directed the district collector of Mehboob Nagar to supply 25 liters of water to each person in the village. United Nations also says that right to water entitles everyone to sufficient, safe, acceptable, physically accessible and affordable water for personal and domestic use. United Nations also says that. So public facilities like the water we talked about healthcare and sanitation also in the previous discussions. Like this, the electricity, public transport, school and colleges, these are also necessary. These are public facilities. Facilities government should see or provide for the public. What is the important characteristic of it? That it is provided, once it is provided, the benefits is shared among many people. For example, if you have a school, the candidates or children will get educated. Supply of electricity, farmer can irrigate their field using pump set. Workshop will run on electricity and student can easily study. And just installing one public facility will help many others. So the Constitution guarantees the right to education, RTE, for all children between age 6 to 14. So this is right to education. The government's role. What is the government role? Now, who is going to provide us the public facilities? Government. The basic idea is government should provide us. We elect the government, we pay the taxes, and the government has to provide, and it has to take the responsibility and must bear the responsibility, and it is bearing the responsibility of public facilities. If we see the private companies, if it is given to private companies, then we have already seen the story of a shirt. That because everyone is making profit and it has to be, everyone has to live, he or she has to earn. But who is which company is going to keep drain clean or running an anti-malaria campaign? They will not get any profit. So in these cases, private company will not be interested. But when it comes to school and hospitals, the private companies may be interested. And mostly you will find this in large cities. Why? Because they get profit. Private companies supplying water through tankers or supplying drinking water in seed bottle. Private companies provide public facilities, but the price is higher. Everyone cannot afford it. So the price should be, things should be available, facility should be available, but the price also should be such that the poor should be able to buy it. They should not be deprived of the opportunity to live a decent life. So public facilities relate to people basic need. What are people basic needs, what they want? So the right of life, as we said, right to life of the Constitution, it guarantees that this is for all persons living in the country. So the responsibility must lie on the shoulders of government. So where does the government get money for public facilities? The government, they put the budget every year, from where they are going to get money and on which schemes they are going to send the money. So, because of various taxes levied on public, like income tax, like various other tax, when the water supply is there, then the tax is on the water. But it is not that much, but still, this is how they manage. This is a polio program, and since government has done a lot, our country is free from various diseases right now. But still, because we are 132 and 132 crores So this is a high number. This is high number. So government still has to do a lot. Amu and Kumar, they were discussing that what this is happening, this place is not good, this is bumpy with no street light. What better you can expect in a slum? This Kumar said. Amu said that what does that mean? Even the slum people are citizens. They also cast vote. They are the citizen of this country. So everyone has to be given the proper facilities. Now Kumar said how the government will do it will get bankrupt. Amu says whatever government should do, but the roads, the water, the electricity, these are the basic needs. Everyone has to get it. Everyone should get it. Because Amu said the constitution also says that in the right to life. So this is an example of how many people they use the public or private transport. Now because of in Delhi what happened, because of the growing number of people and not very good condition of the transport, they started the metro and 11,000 crore were spent. So people were arguing that if this 11,000 crore would have been given to this transport or more work is done on this would have been a better option rather than starting the metro. But everyone has their own opinion. So water supply in Chennai, is it available to all? We have already seen that the public facilities, as in the Chennai, there is always shortage of water, mainly in the summer seasons, not more in the winter season, but summer season. We saw in Chennai that municipal supply meets only about half the needs of people in the city. And there are areas which get more water. Some areas they don't get even, they get less water. So the burden of shortfalls, this all happens, and this mainly falls on the shoulder of poor. So poor has to face all this. The middle class, they have certain options. They can get the water from tankers, bottled water they can also take. But this water, they want safe water. The water should be safe also. Clean water also should be there. So this is very important, that safe and sufficient water should be available to all. There is a lot of difference between the poor and the wealthy, how they handle water and how do they get water. So most of the private companies, they give advance to the farmers and they take water from there, like the outskirts, nearby towns like this Mamandur, Palur, Karungizi, and then they use the tankers, etc., like 13,000 water tankers, and they bring to the water scarce area and they sell it, and they get very good money out of that. But the thing is that they are taking the water from the outskirts, so the groundwater water level is going down, and this is what is being used or will be used for irrigation purpose, various other purposes. So this is also not a very good idea. So if you see, in rural areas, water is needed for not even for human. We are just talking about humans, but there are cattle, there are flora and fauna. Everyone needs it. So the source of water are well, hand pumps, ponds. Sometimes overhead tanks are also there, and most of them privately owned. So compared to urban areas, there is, if you talk about rural areas, there is even greater shortage of the public water. So what are the alternatives? I'll just give you an idea of Porto Alegre. This is in Brazil. Now Brazil is not a very developed country, but still there is a place, Porto Alegre, where they get enough water. Everyone is involved. There is no corruption. People are working on this. The authorities are working on this, and they also involve the common people for decision making. So the infant deaths are also less because of the clean water they provide. So I was just saying that the alternatives can be there. Here it is. There is an example. As we saw Chennai, but the situation in most of the cities of India during summers is like this only. And as we said, more private firms, they will want profit. The supply of water per person in urban area in India should be about 135 liters per day. That is about 7 buckets. This is required. That is this standard set by Urban Water Commission. Whereas people in slum, they get only 20 liters a day per person. If you go to luxury hotel, people get 1600, that is 80 buckets of water per day. That means we need how much? 135 liters per day. This much we need. And this much, what the slum people get? 20 liters per day. And in, the luxury hotels, they get 1600 liters. That is 80 buckets. They get only 1 bucket. And here, it is that 20, this 135 liters, that is 7 buckets should be available. Now, the shortage of municipal water, this often says that the government is failing. So some people argue that since the government is unable to supply water, now it is needed that it should be it should be hiring the private companies for water supply. So according to them, private companies can perform better. So let us see certain facts. Throughout the world, water supply is a function of government. There are very few instances that private players are supplying water in the country. There are areas in the world where public water supply has achieved universal access, as we saw here, just a very small place in Brazil. And in few cases where the responsibility is on private companies, there is a steep price of water. There was also this also happened in Bolivia. There was a riots because of the high price, and ultimately it was taken from the private hands. Government took it. So within India, there are cases of success in government department, but still the things have to be done. Mumbai and Hyderabad, these are the cases. And this Hyderabad department, the recent report shows that the department has increased coverage and improved performance also in revenue collection. In Chennai also, department has taken several initiatives like harvesting the rainwater and also to increase the level of groundwater. So it has also used the private companies for distributing and transporting the water. So these private companies are on contract, Anubandh. Here we see picture of, this is Mumbai Suburban Railway, and this is the busiest train. 65 lakh passenger daily they travel, and extending to 3,000 kilometers. This local train, this allow people living far away from Mumbai to come to the city because they cannot live here. It's very expensive to live here. And also these sanitation facilities. Latrine, for us, somebody astonished, and we go and perform our functions out in the open. Latrines are for you big people. This is what Mahatma Gandhi says. So, in 2001, 68% of households in India, they have access to drinking water, and about 36% they have access to sanitation. That is, poor both in rural and urban areas lack access to sanitation. So sanitation is also very important. So Sulabh, it's a non-government organization working on this area specifically for low caste, low income people. So it has constructed 7,500 public toilet blocks, 1.2 million private toilets. So it is giving access to sanitation to 10 million people. And Sulabh also enters into contract with the municipalities, authorities, and this is how they work. They are only charging 1 rupees for using the toilet and latrine. So what do we conclude? One more thing that about the electricity. The census of India 2001 puts rural household electrification at 44%. That means 78 million households they still lack electricity. So public facilities, these are related to the basic needs, and the Indian Constitution recognizes the right to water, health, education. These are right to life. So everyone has to work Everyone has to see that the poorest of poor people should get this public facility. There are certain words being used. Sanitation, so provision of facilities for safe disposal of human urine and feces, and this is done by construction of toilets and pipes to carry the sewerage and treatment of wastewater. This is very necessary for avoiding contamination. Company is a form of business set up by people or by government, and those that are promoted and owned by individuals or group these are called private companies. For example, Tata Steel is private, Indian Oil is government. Universal access, this is achieved when everyone has physical access to a good and can also afford it. For example, the tap connection at home will allow physical access to water. If the price of water is low or is provided free, everyone will be able to afford it. Basic needs, primary requirements of food, water, shelter, sanitation, healthcare, education. These are basic needs for anyone's survival. So this is all about this topic. Thank you so much. Take care.